What's up, YouTube? It's me, the Artisan MC, and today I am going to review Loki Season 2, Episode 2. Now, I'm getting to this kind of late, but it doesn't really matter because it's all pre-recorded, so you'll see it when you see it. But just to bury the lead, for the most part, I wasn't really invested in this episode. There was no investment for me in this episode. Now, what would seem like a lot of stuff happened in this episode, but it didn't. Not really. A lot of talking, a lot of people just sitting around, and some impending doom added on top of an already impending doom was layered in there. But otherwise, nothing really happened. Aside from the reintroduction of Sylvie to the cast. Now, first part of this episode starts off with Loki and Mobius showing up in 1977 England. And Hunter X5 has gone back in the past, although he was supposed to be searching for Sylvie. He has gone back and set up his own life in the UK in 1975 and become a big star for acting. Now Loki and Mobius show up to find out from him where Sylvie is. And through a conversation with him, he eventually tries to run from them and they have to give chase. The part that it's bothering me about this beginning is because I'm thinking it's a big jump. It's a big time jump. Because from my recollection, the last episode didn't end anywhere close to going to this. They're just popping up here for some reason, looking for him for some fucking reason, which is unclear to me. Outside of the fact they keep stating that he knows where Sylvie is. Well, how'd you know where he was? How'd you know what mission he was tasked with? Because you weren't with him when he got that mission. From my recollection. Be that as it may, do a little bit of chasing through the streets and whatnot, and Loki getting back into the Loki magic bag. They capture Hunter X5 or Bradley Wolf, as he's going by right now, and bring him back to the TVA. Now, once back in the TVA, Mobius and Loki set out trying to get information from this man, and they kind of use some unscrupulous, mischievous ways to get information from him and find out from him that he does, in fact, know where Sylvie is because he did, in fact, find Sylvie. And for return to the sacred timeline and the life that he built for himself, he is willing to tell Loki and Mobius this information. Now, when Loki and Mobius get to where Sylvie is, that part, at the very least, picks up right after the last episode left off, where you see Sylvie inside of McDonald's, but she is not there to get a Big Mac or a filet of fish or nothing like that. No, she's working the register. She's selling Big Macs and filet of fish. She has a job. She has a life somehow. And for the most part, she is happy, which don't really begrudge anybody. But with Loki and Mobius showing up, there is some weirdness. And for me, I'm not really understanding. Haven't seen the first season. Totally on board with the show first season. But haven't seen the first season and seeing how it ended. What reason does Loki have to be tiptoeing around Sylvie and Sylvie to be so shocked that Loki showed up like it's your old boyfriend came back in town after you ran off with another man? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. She should be, if anything, afraid because Loki should have an attitude with her because she did blow him through a portal to get him out of the end of time. That would seem like Loki should be in there with a little different bearing. Not like he probably owes her an apology or something like that. No, no. And don't give me the shit about they were in love or something like that. Loki is in love with himself, so that's a misnomer to begin with. Shouldn't have no apprehension about talking to himself, even the female version. Be that as it may, they have a conversation outside, and Loki tries to explain to Sylvie what great danger all of this reality is. And Sylvie explains to him why she doesn't give a shit about the TVA and it can all burn down. Now, this to me was also very stupid. Why? There should be no conversation or debate with Sylvie about what kind of peril the rest of the timelines are in, being that she's living on a branch timeline right now. Reason being is the only reason it's all fucked up like that is because she killed He Who Remains. So there should be no kissing Sylvie's ass or being nice to her and playing cool with her for anything because they're treating her like she's the most powerful creature in the world right now. And she's not. She's just a Loki with boobs. So killing He Who Remains or not didn't elevate her status any. She's actually the cause, the catalyst of all these people potentially dying. So there shouldn't be a conversation where they're talking to her in kind of calm tones and really just needing her help. Needing her help for what? For what? So Loki feel better? Man, look, this episode reads like a simp chronicle. He's trying to get back to the chick that rejected him. And all the resources that they have at their disposal is all there so he can get back to the chick that rejected him. That caused all of this shit. And when he see her having a moment like some jilted lovers and something didn't go the right way, she felt the dude keeping all of this together. And it's all coming apart. You know, time loom meltdown, some other crap going on back at the TVA as well. This is all caused by her killing He Who Remains. So pardon me, but I don't think we should be talking to her in calm tones at all and trying to convince her of a damn thing. Like she is somehow a deity all of a sudden. And if you talk to her in harsh tones, you're not gonna survive. We need her power. Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. Now, she is convinced because Hunter X5 reveals a little bit more of the plan that he was a part of that Mobius and Loki were not, and informs them that Dox, the other temporal elder, in a sense, has a plan to trim all the branch timelines, and she has her loyalists going out and dropping bombs off on every one of the timelines and destroying them. Now, because Loki and Sylvie had to have a tete-a-tete at the back on the tailgate of a truck outside of McDonald's, and Mobius and Hunter X5 got to sit down and have milkshakes and apple pies in McDonald's. They're too late to stop Dox's men from doing exactly what they were doing, planting those bombs, setting them off, and destroying those extra timelines. It doesn't even matter that Loki, Sylvie, Mobius all found Dox's secret base where she was launching all these attacks from. It didn't even matter that they found that. They were too late to stop anything. And all the branch timelines were destroyed. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing to me because all the branch timelines were the reason that the time loom was going to melt down anyway. They actually did you a solid to get back to the sacred timeline. Because with every one of those timelines that was destroyed, that was another one where Kang couldn't rise up. That was one that could not produce a Kang to take He Who Remains place. The larger goal. So Hunter B15, who, yes, she's an awesome actor, but this everybody is referring to this character now like she's the one in fucking charge. I don't remember in the first season how Mobius had to take orders from B15, but she's giving them to Mobius, and he's just dutifully trotting along. Anyway, because B15 tells them to, they come back to the TVA to watch in supposed horror with everybody else digital lines disappear and understand that billions of people that they don't know, never seen before, had been dispatching for years, all of a sudden lost their lives and ceased to exist. What you gonna do? Put it back? Is it a tragedy? No. You know why? Because it was a branch timeline. It was the universe rolling the dice and say, what if this happened this way? Since all the branches were the problem, I think trimming of the branches stopped the problem. Now, you can say there's not as many people in the TVA that are on those opposite timelines or the branch timelines. Yeah, you could say that. But so what? None of those people was going back to those timelines. None of the people in the TVA, even knowing that they were taken from that timeline, they ain't going back to it. That was part of Loki and Mobius's talk in the automat eating key lime pie. He's saying he didn't want to know. That's what if his life was good. You don't need that rattling around in his head. Exactly. B15's whole dispute about this, that these are people that live in their lives and stuff like that. We had lives on the sacred timeline. Are you going back to it? Are you about to start a new life on a timeline that probably got pruned a while ago? It doesn't even fucking exist anymore. So what are you worried about? Your life is what it has been. You just incorporate this new information that you got. But there ain't gonna be no going back to that life that they plucked you from and just trotting along. This is not Men in Black. That's not how that shit works. So this is seeming really ridiculous to me. Now they get through all that, and Sylvie does end up coming through the portal back to the TVA after she spent a good 5 minutes talking to Loki, saying she would never go back. And since the future was not determined by He Who Remains anymore, there was no way in hell she was going to end up at the TVA in the future trying to help out because it wasn't written. But here she is standing at the TVA getting to watch, digital lines disappear just like everybody else. And she wants to have a moment of saying that the TVA doesn't do anything. They're not defenders. Well, this is what the TVA does. This is what He Who Remains was trying to get you to understand you had to do. And that by killing him, what you were spinning into effect, which was all these branch timelines. This is your fault. She's not in the position to sit there and morally say, "Oh, good defending." You caused all of this shit. What are you talking about? So I'm not feeling that shit. I'm really not. I'm not feeling it at all. And this is me being calm about it. Not feeling it. Now, she does turn around about face and bounce the hell out of there because she has He Who Remains Timpad. So she can go wherever the hell she wants to now. And she goes back to McDonald's. to finish her shift, I guess. At the end of the night, we see Sylvie sitting on the pickup truck. I guess she bought or got from somehow, and just thinking about stuff. And we in there, and I'm like, what a burger. I mean, I got nothing from that. I got nothing from it. Now, there was stuff going on with Ouroboros and Casey finally getting to meet each other. Casey having read the TVA handbook, Ouroboros being the one person who actually wrote the TVA handbook. So what? So what? There was a bigger problem. I think it's probably alleviated now that all the branch timelines are destroyed. But what do I know? I'm not writing this shit. I'm just watching it. Crisis averted, I would think. But other than that, nothing happened. It's 50 minutes of that, of conversations that weren't even overly impactful to me. So, what did I get for that 50 minutes? The loss of 50 something minutes. So, that's my review of Loki season 2, episode 2. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. $ artisanmc on Cash App or artisanmc on PayPal. And I'm going to roll into the next episode, episode 3, and then I will see you guys again when that's over. Peace.